The last round of last round of
Welcome to the Last Roundup Horror Show. I am Frank. It's Jason. We're doing it solo bolo style this time.
It's laid back.
Laid back.
This is a chill episode.
Not a lot of rigmarole and people not watching movies.
Digging at your pockets and putting clips on you.
Yeah, exactly, Jared.
Original play stuff.
Get
Yell
over
at
it.
you for reading.
Yeah.
He preaches reading, but when you go to read, God, Frank, you just keep talking.
I do work for this show.
You just keep talking and saying stuff. You keep reading.
We're splitting up the picks this time. So this is Jason's episode. We're going to start it out with funny games. Not fun and games. Funny games from 1997. I did a little fun thing with these reviews. I went through the other names that they're known by. I translated them.
You should have translated the tagline because I didn't get.
Oh, really?
Because the tagline was in German, Dutch.
It's I don't know if I wrote it down. German, I think. Yeah,
I think it's German.
It's German. Also known as Funny Games is also known as Hours of Terror, Free Violence, Strange Toys, Dangerous Play, and Deadly Games. So, maybe you're in Brazil. Maybe you're in some other country. That might be what you know it by.
I wonder what the tagline is.
Yeah, you should have hit me up. I could have, or just Google Translate. I use it all the time.
Too lazy.
Summary for this film: two violent young men take a mother, father, and son hostage in their vacation cabin and force them to play sadistic games with one another for their own amusement. Written and directed by Michael Haneke.
Again, I think it's German, so it's probably not Haneke. But
Yeah, Haneke? I don't know. What do you have additional details on this?
Distributed by Concord Castle and Blu-ray Criterion Collection this year, 2019.
Right.
I bought that copy. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but I just want to say, we talked about it earlier too. Like, I thought I was getting trolled or something by this Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That intro music comes in.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go to YouTube and reference a couple of videos because it just seems like it.
Yeah, well, what happens is, like, there's what is it, like, classical music? They're talking about classical music, and then this screeching, screaming music.
And I've heard people call it metal.
It's more like grindcore almost.
I
It's
don't know
noise
what it
music.
is. It's not. It's awful.
But they do it at the end of it too. Yeah, that's the first thing I wrote. What a crazy fucking soundtrack transition during the opening credits. It also happens.
I would have done something else, but
yeah, a little song. It's
I was fine with the classical music.
Overall, it's a pretty classy horror movie. I mean, it's like an artistic horror movie. I did not enjoy this film. It's not what I want in a movie.
Here we go.
I wouldn't recommend this to anyone, really. Unless you like, I guess if you like this style movie.
You know, most people like different movies than you, so this should be one. If
this
you don't
one
like
was just not an enjoyable experience.
But you
overall.
recognize that it was done well, it's shot well.
Yeah.
I
I just like to have a little bit of fun with a motion picture, and this was not fun.
There's
at
nothing
all.
fun about it.
It was the exact opposite of what I want. I would never say
It
this.
made you feel too many feelings.
No, I would never say
I know
this.
exactly what it
Yes, could you give me a movie with zero hope, where I essentially watch a perfectly pedestrian family get pointlessly murdered without any repercussions
Games.
for
They
the
play
two rather boring antagonists. I think that the killers in this are pretty boring overall. And and make it this thing that I don't want, and then make me have to read it. That's just like, that's two things that I don't want to do.
You could have chose.
I couldn't.
There has to be over.
I found I was going to these sites that were like, putt lockers, trying to find a copy of this to watch. Because
when I said funny games, did you think it was 2007?
No.
Have you seen this before?
I've seen the artwork for it, or the cover, the poster, whatever.
Have you seen 2007?
No. And I won't. Unless we watch it for the show.
No, it's pretty close to. Like, scene for scene, same director.
Yeah. I tried to find I tried to find a redeeming quality for this movie, just to say something positive. And I'm like, it was filmed proficiently. It was filmed in a cool way. It was artistically shot, but it was complete dread for me throughout the whole thing, and I didn't enjoy that. I guess you could say
you would have liked it if it was.
Here's another positive.
Dreadful.
You could say this is the first type of this sort of suspense movie, because
home invasion.
Yeah, and this is exactly the kind of reason why I like that sequel to The Strangers more than the original, because the original has that same sort of feeling as this movie, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I can only give this. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. Now, Jason I can see how Jason probably likes this a lot. I would say he's probably in the 8 range.
I think most people like this movie.
Right.
Yeah, so I have it as home invasion at its best. We talked about the crazy music. It's just really intense, heavy scenes. I mean, that kid gets his head splattered.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. The kid, number one, a kid death. Right there, you're already.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Not a lot of people don't. I understand. But he gets his head splattered.
Right.
But that whole scene, was so freaking heavy. It was, and I swear to God, I think it's all one long shot. There's no cuts. There's no edits.
Yeah.
She has to sit there and just face and think about what just happened. And I thought the funny thing is that all she wanted at that point was just to shut off that race on TV.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That would have been. It's just the little things about that in this movie that just makes it seem so real and just crazy. But that's what it is. So I know what kind of movies you like.
Right.
This movie is just—it's all feelings.
It makes you feel like you're watching one of those real
villains. They turn them into villains.
This is how I'm gonna say. I don't like it. That's why I gave it a low score. It is done well enough to where it will make you feel like the same feeling you get when you watch one of those real life crime murder documentaries or whatever.
The first 48.
Yeah, shit like that. Like you were like, oh my god, that's a real person. Just it makes you feel that same. It mimics that feeling. So I don't know. Quality.
Yeah, but there's a lot of long shots and with very few cuts. It breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah,
that throws me off always because that seems like it's reserved for
comedy kind of things.
Like this ain't a comedy. This ain't funny.
But it's foreign, so that makes sense.
So then, he talks to the camera, he rewinds, picks up and rewinds the movie.
Yeah.
That I like it and I don't like it, but that's just nitpicking for me. The look and condition of the family gets progressively worse through the movie. I think that you have to say they're great actors. I mean, I also was makeup and special effects or makeup effects that helps, but the acting is good. As
far as you can tell, because I always have a hard time with foreign acting. I don't know if it's good or not.
They could have said 2 words this whole movie, and just the scenes, the situations. That's what makes this movie intense. Beautifully shot, such a raw feeling to it. I guess that's maybe what you mean when it seems like I'm watching a documentary or something. Like I'm watching.
Yeah.
This is real life stuff. I don't know. I was sucked into the movie, and I think that's all you want as far as a director and.
Yeah, well, it's reason. Like everything that happens is pretty reasonable to be like it could be something that happened.
there's psychos, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah, see, I hit it right on the head. I knew right what he was going to say
I
about it.
recommend it.
Let's move into your next film, Scared Stiff from 1987, also known as Abraxas, The Masterson Curse, The Talisman of Terror, Macabre Nightmare, The Voodoo Curse, and The Stone Talisman. I like that shit. That's hilarious. Summary for this film. Strange visions come to haunt a singer when she, her son, and her psychiatrist-turned-boyfriend move into an old colonial house that is haunted by the ghost of a ruthless slave owner. Directed by Richard Friedman, who worked on Tales from the Dark Side, Friday the 13th, the series, and Monsters.
And Doom Asylum.
Yeah. Written by Mark Frost, who worked on Hill Street Blues, Twin Peaks, and Fantastic Four, with David F. Bachner and Richard Friedman. What do you have?
Tagline: There's no place left to hide. Distributed Republic Pictures, out on Arrow Video this year. I picked this one up too. It looks good. It sounds good. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that. It does look cool. Everything they put out's good, I think.
I don't know. I don't know how many times we're fortunate to have these small horror companies putting out these movies again. I never seen this back in the day.
No.
Now I'm getting a chance to watch it for the first time, 2K scan.
Yeah.
Props to Arrow and others.
So there's a lot of funny things about this movie. There's the psychologist guy, the boyfriend character. Does he work at the mental hospital from fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Because he goes into work, like, the thing that bothers me is that she used to be his patient, right? But all his patients that are in his waiting room are fucking bonkers, like crazy characters, like that you would see in a comedy. The female lead is a pop singer, or she has some sort of trauma. I don't know if they ever deal with it. Is it the guy tried to slit her throat? Is that what happened? I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I didn't understand.
Well, let's just address it right now. The first hour of this movie, not a lot is happening.
No.
Not a lot of it is even making a whole lot of sense to me. But it's stuff like that. I'll let that stuff slide, because it's an cheesy 80s movie. So
Right.
it makes it bearable to get through.
I thought the soundtrack was pretty dull, except for the piano piece that they find in the attic where she starts playing it. Like, the overall theme of the movie is fucking great. Like, it's probably one of my favorite pieces of music I've heard in a movie. The kid in this movie has one of the ugliest fucking lamps that I've ever seen in my life. You remember that?
Yeah, I swear I've seen one of those in real life, like in person.
It's the sort of thing I would buy if I saw it.
Some friend had it in their bedroom when I.
If I saw that, I would buy it. And just to see, yeah, he names it Cochise, and they put some sort of importance on it, but it really doesn't do anything. That never pays off. But that's the sort of thing I would buy just to see the look in my wife's face when I brought it home, like, for the living room. It's just ugly as fuck. There's a cop character in here that I love. He's just a good, shitty cop. He's in there, they're pulling corpses out of the damn attic, and he's got to have, what is it, a race he's watching or something? Or is he watching football? I can't remember. But that's kind of a running thing. Like, he's always got to watch TV. He's even got one in this filing cabinet at one point.
Looks like he's working.
I just love a good shitty cop. There's a laugh out loud point in this movie where the boy's playing a game on this Apple IIe computer in a vector image.
Was it Apple II? I don't
know. It might have been a Commodore 64. Who knows?
I don't know.
But this vector image comes out of the talisman. It's like rotating around and spinning. It comes right on the screen and it blows these people's mind. And I just fucking laughed out loud. How'd that look in like a nice crisp HD?
It looks good. It looks great.
This isn't really what you would call a traditional good horror movie, but you can have fun with it if you are in the right mood. One of my favorite things about the film is the shitty detective who dies when his car flips upside down and then blows up. Like, that's the kind of shit that's happening. And the characters in the mental hospital are always funny when he has to walk through there. There's one guy in a leather bomber jacket with no shirt underneath, and he keeps scratching his chest and shit. Little things like that make this movie really enjoyable. I'm not exactly sure what is supposed to be happening with the psychologist turning into a demon-like version of an old slave master. I guess you're just supposed to...
It's cursed. It's the Masterson curse.
You're supposed to just accept it as ghost shit. The ending of the movie is like a mashup of House on...
What I think happens in a curse.
The end of the movie is like a mashup of House and the hell sequences from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, I thought. If the whole movie was the ending, I would be fucking bonanza of fun. I would have given this a fairly high score if it was more of that, but I can only give it like a 4. That's where I'm sitting with it.
I agree with a lot of what you say. I guess I enjoyed it more.
You know what, though? One more thing. I forgot to write this down. They start the movie off with some of the most racist shit. They're selling black people. I got 2 good Negroes right here.
Oh, yeah. But it starts, because it starts off back in the day. Like,
right.
It starts at an earlier time period. So it's like a supernatural creature feature, kind of, because they got that crazy... you see that there's a creature, there's a whatever it is, a demon. You get to see it in all of its glory at the end. It has voodoo curses. It touches on some psychological elements. Where this movie shines is the creatures, the practical effects, and it's all kind of like over the top makeup, like just. I can't, like Demon Wind, they had the crazy looking like monsters.
Yeah, it did have a similar feel to that movie.
But the problem is there's not a lot of that. The first hour, it's pretty slow. But like I said earlier, it's an 80s movie. It's a cheesy 80s movie, so I can look past that. I let that stuff slide. I found it an easy watch, even though it didn't really pick up till the final act. The story was okay, the music is good, the acting's okay. I just wish it would have been more eventful. There's not a lot of kills. I don't think it's anything you necessarily have to see. So it comes in right under the recommended 8. I give it a 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would. I can't say
I don't recommend it either.
I gave it a 4, but it's the kind of 4 that you could rewatch again. I mean, that's the best way. I think you could probably watch it with the kids, maybe? I don't know. That racist stuff is a little bit racist. Up next, the House on Sorority Row. 1983.
I find sorority a hard word to spell. It never looks right to me.
Yeah. For real.
I have to pause.
There's a lot of O's and I's in there.
I always think I have too many
I guess
R's.
there's one I.
It seems like I'm just writing R's. Anyway.
Also known as House of Evil. Murders in the Secret Fraternity. 7 Sinful Sisters. Murders in the Girls' House. Do Not Enter That College. Omen. 7 Sisters. House of Fear. Mrs. Slater's House. The house in the corner of sorority, nursing home, on the Greek Street, or 7 trapped women, or 7 women trapped. I guess it's a lot of names. Summary for this film. I'll try to cut them short in the future. After a seemingly innocent prank goes horribly wrong, a group of sorority sisters are stalked and murdered one by one in their sorority house. While throwing a party to celebrate their graduation. I love fucking saying that word so many times. Directed by Mark Rossman, written by Mark Rossman and Bobby Fine. Music by Richard Band. Huh? What do you have?
I like him.
He does good work, I'll be honest.
He's got a lot of stuff, too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And according to IMDb, this Mark Rossman is his debut film.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
You're
Oh
starting
yeah,
off with
for sure.
Starting off with a banger there. Tagline: When the nightmare ends, the terror begins. Distributed by Artists Releasing and Film Ventures on Blu-ray. There's a couple different
variations.
Gosh, I can't think of. I'm drawing a blank.
Cut it away. Move on.
These companies.
You know how it is.
These movie producing
dude.
companies.
Hollywood. Big Hollywood.
I have the Blu-ray on Shock, released in 2016.
Fun fact here. Mrs. Slater, what would you call her? She's the sorority mother or house attendant.
Yeah, the house mother. I think that's what they're called.
All of her lines were ADR with a different actress doing them. Evidently, Rossman said that she had the right look, but her voice was all wrong. He needed something deeper.
I can't stand your voice.
Can you imagine saying
You
that
look
to
good,
somebody?
but I can't stand your voice.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. Is it just me, or does it bother you when you see people pouring alcohol the way they do in these movies? Or is it just like, you want some there? Vodka everywhere, all over the place. I don't know. The girl with weird boobs has a waterbed in her dorm room.
The weird boobs?
Yeah, she has some really weird ones. They're like early fake wonkers. I don't know. They're crazy. They're
I can't believe I don't have notes on that.
She's the one that they're in the waterbed, and she comes in and stabs the waterbed.
Yeah.
No one would have a waterbed in a dorm room. That's absolutely insane. The soundtrack is both good and bad at points. The band that plays the party is fucking garbage. They're an actual band called 4 out of 5 Doctors.
Motor got the corner onward slip. The Tipperello smoker never gulps, he always sips.
And they contribute too many songs. When it's the Richard Band score, it's really, really good. But more often than not, it's 4 out of 5 Doctors, sounding like the opening act for whatever that asshole.
I like the band.
They said, this is what I was thinking the whole time. This band opened up for that shitty band from what was the movie? Night Train to Terror.
Daddy's in the dining room, sorting through the news. Mama's at the shopping mall, buying new shoes.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this band opened for that band.
I like this band better.
And if you want to hear more from 4 out of 5 Doctors, they're on YouTube. You can check out all their music.
So that was the original music?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
I liked it. I thought it was perfect. I mean, for what? It's
I couldn't
1983.
stand it. Now, this is the first of 2 movies that you picked that had, like, college parties with bands playing in them.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about that on our next review because I enjoyed that band. But the death scenes are really well put together and shot creatively for not really showing you anything. I think you rarely see anything on the screen. There's nothing likable about any of these women. You keep waiting for them to die, so it's one of those kind of movies. I ended up enjoying the third act of this movie way more than I thought I would, based on my dislike of these characters and that terrible fucking band. I think the last 30 minutes of this film are so enjoyable it pushes the rating from a 4 to a 6 out of 10 for me. Yeah. That's why I'm
this
sitting.
is why we need like a third person, because
Middle ground?
Funny Games should have been approved. This one should be approved, and there's no way.
Do you think Jared would have liked Funny Games?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think it hurts anything. You can give it your personal approval. How about that?
No one cares about the personal approval.
We don't have enough numbers to
I
do
don't
it.
have a stake for personal approval.
How about some eggs?
1983, 80s slasher. and this has a great poster too. I love the poster. Set in a sorority house. It's a good setting for a slasher. Several of them out there. It's not like spooky atmosphere. This has a great atmosphere to me. Like, again, it's part of just liking the setting. I don't know. I thought the atmosphere was great in this. It's nothing groundbreaking. You know what you're going to get. I think the characters were okay, likable. I thought great final girl. And a great final girl scene.
I ended up liking her a lot more at the end. Towards the end.
Well, no, she's on like soap operas and stuff. And
yeah, I'm not sure.
anyway, great. I like the final girl. I like the final girl scene. The rest of them just didn't matter. And it's not that the characters weren't. The acting's not very good. Outside of that one, outside the final girl, the rest of them's acting. I like the band. I like the other music throughout it. I like the story, the kills. It has a decent body count. It's Richard Band.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done so much stuff.
Yeah. He reuses his stuff all the time.
Well, I know you said that. I mean, I don't know. He just has so much stuff. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Why not? And the killer switches clothes. Switches masks, where he wears a couple of different masks. Well, whoever the killer is.
Yeah, we didn't even mention him at all. Yeah, that was different.
It was a good
I liked
twist.
that. Yeah,
I think I caught on to it pretty early too. But anyway, I think if you're a fan of slashers, especially a fan of 80s slashers, I recommend this. I give this an 8.
All right. Well, let's get another fucking.
It should
column.
be approved.
Jason approves it. The Prowler, 1981, also known as Rosemary's Killer, Who Killed Rosemary, The Murder of Rosemary, Pitchfork Massacre, Most Likely to Die, and Forehead of Death for some reason. Summary: an unknown killer clad in World War II U.S. Army fatigues stalks a small New Jersey town bent on reliving a 35-year-old double murder by focusing on a group of college kids holding an annual spring dance. Directed by Joseph Zito, who did Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
How about that, huh?
And then movies like Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren and Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. So he's done some shit.
Yeah.
Written by 6 people, 5 of which are mainly cartoon writers with extensive IMDb pages. And one of the writers, Neil Barbera, is the son of Joseph Barbera of Hanna-Barbera fame. What do you have?
Tagline: you don't need a chainsaw to have a massacre. Distributed by Sandhurst and out on Blu-ray through Blue Underground 2016.
Fun facts: Tom Savini considers this to be his best work. He also did all the Prowler's kills, so anytime that there's a kill, it's Tom in the suit. This film was the reason that director Joseph Zito got that final chapter job. Evidently they liked this so much that they're like, we need to snag that dude. I wrote down all the kills for this one.
Jared.
What?
It's gonna be a lot of reading going.
No. I just wanted to. There's.
I don't care.
There's 8 kills. There's the first kill, pitchfork through a couple, which was pretty. It would have just been a pretty.
I mean, that's the highlight of this film.
Right.
It's
the pitchfork.
It's the kills.
Whenever he kicks
when
he kicks his boot into the pitchfork, it really drives it home. The knife through the top of the head kill is fucking fantastic. His eyes turn white. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know what I was watching, the making of or whatever. They talked about that the eyes sucking back in it's the suction.
Yeah.
From the knife makes his eyes.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. It was pretty disturbing, especially for 1981. Can you believe that?
He's the man.
There's a pitchfork through a girl's stomach in the shower. Slits a girl's throat in the pool with a knife. Stabs another woman in the throat with a knife. There's this. The least impressive one was this big idiot gets shot with a shotgun. And it was just, standard. But the sheriff dies. Spoiler alert, he's the Prowler. And he dies by a shotgun blast, and his head just pops. It's a great Savini kill. A pitchfork is a pretty weird weapon for a former soldier to rely on. You think I guess he does end up using the gun that he loads up at the beginning. Do you think that somebody involved just had a really cool police badge collection, and they're like, hey guys, like, my friend's got this police badge collection, can we hang it in the sheriff's station scene? Because otherwise they had to rent that. I don't even know what you're talking about. They're in the sheriff's. It stood out to me. It was a big giant display of just different police badges. And I thought, I just thought in my head, some guys like, my brother Kenny's got a fucking display case full of badges, man. He'd love to get in on this movie. It's obvious that somebody was really proud of that fucking thing. But the band in this movie, kind of a similar theme. Party at a college. This band is called Nowhere Fast, and they're much better than another band. You can find their self-titled release for $3.99 if you dig these funky, fresh sounds.
Couldn't fast this morning, so I helped myself by going for a ride.
This movie is basically, like, quality-wise, right there with Friday the 13th and My Bloody Valentine. They pull a lot from those two, I think. I don't know which came first, but there's kind of some similar, like, even
Friday 80?
Yeah, I think so. But when was My Bloody Valentine?
81. Same year as this.
Because there's some really similar things from that one, I thought. But yeah, you got all the tropes you'll find in this genre movies of that era, like doors never want to open. Like, this one woman has so many troubles with doors. They're just always locked or something.
And the one's like a front door.
It's a screen door. Pull that son of a bitch off. Anyways,
that's what makes them good.
I think that they were.
Are you yelling at the screen?
I think that
it's a screen door. Just open it.
Come on, bitch, open that door. No, there was also a time when they're in the pool scene. I thought that the score kind of mimicked Jaws music a little bit, which was weird. This is an excellent movie. If you like those movies we talked about, check it out. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. So,
if you were gonna say you didn't like this movie, I was kicking you out.
Get out of here.
The other ones, you're way low on Sorority Row, but and this is a standalone slasher.
Yeah,
like it's a really good slasher that never had sequels. It's Tom Savini at its best. You've touched on all the kills, great kills, and that's what drives this entire movie. It's not a character-driven movie. Practical effects and gore spot on. Again, I like the setting. It's a college, it's a dance. I like it. And another good pool scene. I don't know why I'm just picking up on these pool scenes.
It was weird that these two movies we watched at the same time, because I was like, there's a lot of similar shit.
I've been seeing a lot of pool scenes. I really like. It's starting to become a favorite.
Summertime, get the pool movies going.
It's like a genre of scenes. Killer has a good look. I think this is pretty much spot on with everything as far as slashers. If you're a fan of slashers, highly recommend. I think it'd be a nice double feature with My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, definitely.
I give it a 10.
There's an official approved.
Yeah.
Well, that's this episode. Join us next time for a bunch of movies that Jason does not like. We'll see what happens. Thanks for listening, watching, all that stuff. See you next time.